I wanted to take the Smart Woodshop and put it in my trailer so I could haul my stuff and set up on a job site, or I could also use it in the trailer as a workshop. I was an electrician for 30 years. Along the way, I bought some rentals, remodeled houses, built houses, so lots of that kind of stuff in the past. So now it's mostly just a hobby. I look at projects online once in a while. YouTube throws up lots of stuff in my face. Your site came up and I thought, hey, that looks pretty interesting. So I started watching you, subscribe. I used to have a big panel saw here and some other stuff, and I wanted to kind of make my shop a little more portable. And I saw your ideas, ended up contacting a friend and said, hey, you want to build some benches together? We built matching sets of the complete total bench and total station all together.
You have this big space and you have some nice property and you built your house. You could just set up everything here and not be portable. So what's behind that?
I've moved before, and the toughest part of moving the last time was moving my shop. I decided next time I move, I want my shop to be totally portable. I want to be able to hook up and roll away. If I have a mobile space, then I will have ability to, still work on projects. If I build another house, I have the ability to work out of it while I'm building it.
Was the bench your first one, or the station? Or?
Well, it all started at the same time, I guess. It was all within a month. We split the cost and bought all the materials. We bought a few tools to do it at the same time, the PARF guide.
You've learned probably like I did that I tried all these other ways to do it, and it was either full-on CNC machine or buy the PARF Guide Mark II. There really is no decent option. Anything else, you get off just a little bit. We talked about that.
I did, yes. I tried before. I did do some dog holes and benches before, but they were never square and accurate. They were functional for clamping, but they just didn't work for square.
These have the kick-down wheels,
yes,
as opposed to the Benningtons, which are up and down.
Right.
Okay.
You made me jealous now. I want to build some new ones. My pocket hole jig accessory, I leveraged the panel rig, and I built a pocket hole jig table extension. I can have my tools up. I keep all my little storage bits, everything pocket hole right in there underneath it. And then zip. Another accessory I use, like I said, I use this as a clamping tool when I'm not pocket holing, when I'm doing edge banding. So we can put the board in here. I made a little accessory that fits into the MFT holes. And then I can put my edge banding material in here, pop that on there. Then it helps me to string out my edge banding without it falling off. And then, obviously you can rotate the board, easy clamp, and I'm done.
So you can edge band all the way around. They have the purpose of being, like I use them for a edge banding, but their primary purpose was to make a door bench.
Yes.
So because these are adjustable, I can have a wide door and I can work on it right here, plane it or do the hinging or whatever at a good height. So you get a door bench. In my case, I have a door bench and an edge banding bench, but in your case, you've taken it to the next and added your pocket holing.
Yep.
So now you've got all three in this one setup.
It works great when I can adjust the height if I have a piece that's tall or shorter.
So I'm keeping count right now. I'm looking at, you've taken the system, the smart system, and you've added two things to it that I don't have: the feeder for your edge banding and your pocket hole machine.
Then I've also created a 4x8 sheet of 1/2-inch ply that sits on top of the table, and I can also use it on that. So I can put the jigs on the side of that, set this all up on a bigger table if I need.
So you've got a full 4x8 piece of 1/2 or 12 mil that'll drop on top of this.
Yep.
So then you've got a 4x8 bench without having to haul around a 4x8 bench. And it's a sheet of plywood, so you've got to haul that around.
Lightweight and easy, but movable.
But it also has some.
It has only perimeter, so I put holes around the perimeter plus a few in the center, like 4 in the center to lock it onto the table.
Okay.
But then it just gives me a nice flat work surface in the middle with my perimeter, like 2 rows around the outside. So I can use the tools and functions that I need. Everything, I tried to make it as an integrated system. Everything works together. Everything's modular, interchangeable.
Is there any challenge you had or any hiccups that telling us about them might help some of the smart fan before, if they're getting started. Is there something you learned that you might have done different, or just a hiccup, or any kind of just sort of a little learning tidbit that maybe you got out of the process of building this?
Taking the time to make a jig or a template and use it, right? That just helps you in the production, right? And since I built not just two of them, I built four at the same time, right?
Right.
It was definitely worth the time to make a template, make it right, and so you could do the repetitive work, and especially on this project too.
If you'd like to build a smart bench, a smart station, a smart cart, what both of these are mounted on, which makes them mobile, or any of the other smart tools that work with the smart system, for the Smart Woodshop itself, there is a link for plans for all of these individually or packages.
8.5 by 16. My V-nose, it has a little V-nose, but it's not as sharp as yours. I really wanted a 14, but you know, the trailer I wanted was a lot more expensive, so I found one that I could repurpose. I wanted to take the Smart Woodshop and put it in my trailer so I could haul my stuff and set up on a job site, or I could also use it in the trailer as a workshop. I've tried to make it multifunction, and I've tried to use everything that I use on my smart station can function in here. My chop saw will pull out of my smart station and plug into my smart trailer. Transport and storage right there. The bench top comes out, stores back where the saw was. Taking my Paulk Smart Station extension with my adjustable stop.
So this actually works on the station out there.
Yes.
And in here.
That's my 8-footer. I have 6-footers also.
Okay.
But it also integrates into this workbench. So these pop out. Now this makes room right here. I can lock it in with the power locks. Now I have adjustable stops ready to go. And if I want my cabinet out of the way, this is something I came up with. Instead of using viewtainers, I'm using Harbor Freight storage containers, right? All my little parts and pieces, screws, nuts and bolts. As you might see over here in my regular shop, I have a cabinet that stores all my containers, but I've built it into my mobile shop, the same setup that'll hold all my containers, all my screws, nuts, bolts, hardware, and they all store back here instead of viewtainers. And now what I've done, so these don't fall out when we're rolling, is I've set these upper cabinets up so they'll lock in place, covering all of them so they don't. This one I'll move here, and I can lock it in place here. I've got adjustable shelves in the cabinets, but obviously I'm storing stuff in the cabinets I don't want to fall out when the trailer's rolling down the road. So I have, they're soft close hinges too, but I put little latches, spring latches on the bottom. So now the door won't open, nothing can fall out of the cabinets as they roll down the road. I also have my Paulk router table that goes on my total station. Obviously I have two on the total station, but in the trailer I've set it up for one. Cradle for my table saw off the smart station.
So you just have dowels in there that just hook in?
Dowels for quick setup. And I've drilled dowels in here. I can set this up wherever I want it. I can move it out farther.
Okay.
So I can have more cut that way, right? So I can move it all the way out here into the aisle.
So you get more rip room then?
Yes, I get more rip room. I can move my fence over farther. Pull the router table or router fence, move it out of the way. I've got lots of outfeed. As I said, if we need to, we can drop the chop saw, so I can even have more outfeed. Okay, table saw's in, we're ready to go. Plug it in, hook up the dust collection. As I showed you before, I think you have a video of my dust collection manifold that I built for my smart station. Just which ports you want, open or closed. They automatically self-clean. It gets both of the router tables and goes down to my cyclone separator and my Festool dust extractor. When I built the trailer, I tried to figure out how to integrate that into the trailer. I couldn't get enough space to fit it in with the vacuum setup. So what I did is I actually built a new one for the trailer. That's what this is, my vacuum selection system. So these are slide gates for ports, vacuum ports in the bottom. We have 5 ports in this setup. This one here ports right back to this open port in the back of the table. This will have a flexible hose that I can hook up to the chop saw. I can also hook it up to the upper dust collection on the router. And I can also hook it up to the upper dust collection on the table saw. So if I'm doing the table saw, this is my table saw port. The hose goes through here to the back of the table saw. So if I was doing upper and lower dust collection for the table saw, it would come through these 2 ports. If I was doing upper and lower dust collection for the router table, it would come through these 2 ports. And I will also have a coiled up hose here right next to the cyclone dust collector and the my dust extractor, and that will be used to either come over here and collect from the planer that sits here that interchanges with my desk, and it also will clean out the rest of the shop for miscellaneous dust. This side, I built the cubbies pretty much exactly like you had them on the plan. Except over here, I inserted a cabinet instead of your
Open
open
box.
shelves, right? And this is my version of your power station. I guess all my cordless tools are DeWalt, so I can charge it simultaneously 11 batteries at the same time. I've also incorporated a DeWalt power station, which is an inverter. It will run the lights. So if I'm not hooked up or plugged into anything, I can run lights. I can charge my cell phones. I can actually even run a corded power tool if I need to. So I've incorporated motion sensors into the lighting system. So anywhere I'm in the trailer, as soon as I come into the trailer, the lights turn on. They'll stay on for 10 minutes. And if there's no motion for 10 minutes, they go off. These days with the LED lighting, I mean, I put in 64 feet of LED lighting with the under cabinets and the overhead lighting, and it draws so little. I mean, it can run. I can leave the inverter on, and anytime I go out to the trailer, it'll pop on the lights for me. And when I built the LED rack for the lighting here up on top, I integrated my track saw storage into it. There's my planer cradle that works on the Paulk Smart Station also,
Okay.
right? And this will where it'll store and ride in the trailer. The router, I mean, the planer will sit on top of it for travel too. But when I want to change it out, the desk comes off, cradle goes on. It either travels here or it'll travel on the floor right below my desk. So
Okay.
either the desk slides under here for travel, storage under here, but obviously I'd have to move the planer or the table, whatever's stored
Right.
under there to get at it. I think behind my compressor and table saw, there will be drawers back here that I'll have to move. There will be limited access drawers, right? But it's still storage space. 4 drawer sizes in this trailer. Your standard Paulk size. I have the small ones here that I've integrated in between each station. And then the ones under here are a little bit narrower, right? I just didn't have the space to make them the same width and get these ones in between. Height-wise, I kept them identical so I could cut the sides out the same. And even on the 4th size ones that I'm integrating, I've kept the sizes the same, height-wise. One thing I did here is I had the plug for the compressor over here. I did integrate a shorter, you can see I cut off the back of the box.
Okay.
So it left room for the plug.
Did you put the handle, the cutout on the front and back of all
I
your drawers?
did. That way you can take it with
I
you.
like that idea.
I saw it on I think one of your the Smart Fam, somebody else suggested that. So
Yep.
I liked it, so I did. It's a lot more routing, but I set up a really nice jig for
So it's just
doing.
yep.
So the jig I set up All I had to do is slide it in, put a center mark, slide it in,
Got it.
route it, slide it out.
I like the idea of actually treating this kind of like a
Tote.
tote or
Yep.
toolbox for the job. You can take those same pieces and make them into a mobile shop as well as your portable shop. So your benches fit in here for mobility, but then when you get to the job, you have your benches, you have your tools that go to your benches, but then you also have a small usable shop here that those same tools on their same mounts come in and travel as well as function.
The fence comes off. I totally have 90% of my rips I can do without moving my chop saw. And my chop saw I can totally use with everything else there. So functionally, I don't think I have to interchange a lot of stuff.
And then you've got your aisle wide enough that the
Smart
cube
cart can roll. Yeah, the
Yep.
cubed smart carts can roll in here. I want to build still the cart with
the cart
cart that fits the cart.
Yep. Is your goal to be 100% portable, mobile, or are you still thinking, no, at all times I'm going to have a garage and have some overflow?
When I moved houses last time, it was so hard. Moving the house wasn't bad. Moving my shop and everything in it was very difficult. So having my shop condensed and stored in one space makes it totally like I can hook up and drive away and have my whole shop and all my tools. So I think that's one of the goals, right? Whether I'm able to set up in a new shop or have a new shop or not. If I don't have a new shop space, I at least have this trailer shop space, my mobile shop space. So that, I think those are the goals. Having a big space is obviously, I think, most men's dream, and it's a great thing. But at the same time, we can't all afford it. We can't all do it. Sometimes in our life we can't have it. So I think it is a little bit of a compromise, but it's, I mean, it'll be a totally functional compromise that is a great place to work.
I walk into a big shop with CNCs and panel saws, and you just drool over it. But at the same time, I think day in and day out, I mean, I want to travel, and there's just other
different
things.
Priorities in life. Yes.
Yeah, and so priorities have shifted, and maybe it'll come back around, and maybe there'll be a time where I don't really want to go anywhere. I just want to walk out my door into my warm shop, and maybe I'll populate with big tools again. But I just think that at least this is an answer for either a phase in life, a need you have now, or for the people that are just never going to have that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 foot shop and the big tools, but yet they can still get out for not a huge of investment and still be able to enjoy their woodworking. On a professional level, a lot of people, they can run their entire business out of what you have right here and a pickup truck with a lumber rack. Paul, I want to thank you for, again, being the first victim of the Smart Woodshop tour. What you've done is just amazing, and I know that the Smart fam, we're going to get a lot of questions. So I'm going to encourage you, when the video goes live, I'll let you know. Keep an eye on the comments, because I think for that video, this video, you're going to be really the one to answer most of the questions. If you'd like your shop featured for the rest of the Smart fam to drop in and enjoy, then I would encourage you to go to thesmartwoodshop.com. On the email there, sign up for the email and let us know where you're at. And then when we're moving to a region, we can put a few together and get right to you through the emails. Promise the emails are not going to go to anybody else. We don't do the spam thing. It's just going to be so that we can communicate directly with you when the time is right. I really appreciate you taking the time to drop in and hang out with us at Paul's Smart Woodshop. Paul, mahalo for letting me hang out with you in your Smart Woodshop.